Right then, it's a quick walk around video, and this is for a Honda CR-V 2.2 EX diesel. 61 plate car with 90,000 miles on the clock, full service history. The car's just come in as a part exchange to us. The chap's just bought a newer CR-V, so clearly likes them. And the car's been kept very nicely. Finished in this really lovely sparkle grey with the light leather interior, which is a lovely combination. Lights and lenses are nice and clear. No cracks or condensation. Bonnet very clean indeed. Near side of the car, really crisp in the panel work there. Near side front alloy, very good on the car. Panel work generally good. Any marks are very light indeed. Inside rear alloy, again absolutely beautifully clean. On the back, it's been kept very nicely. Only any marks are very minor. Offside, driver's side, and nice and crisp in the panel work. Can't see any sort of obvious marks. A few on the little door edges. Offside rear alloy, very good. A few tiny little ones on the door, little stone chips, but again, I'm being really critical given the car's 12 years old. And offside front, again, absolutely beautiful. Externally, it's in very good condition. Coming to the back of the car now, all the covers are here, tonneau, middle shelf. It's been kept absolutely beautifully. Video just doesn't do justice to it, in all honesty. It's coming to the back now. Enormous amounts of leg room, and CR-Vs of this age are normally very heavily used. Yet this one's been given very light use. Leatherwork is beautiful in the car. On the passenger side, again very clean and tidy. Passenger seat, very good indeed. It's finally coming on the driver's side, again all very nice and tidy. Footwell area is really clean. Driver's seat for a car of its age has been kept very well. So we're inside the car now. Engine's running as always, so the dashboard can be seen illuminated. Dashboard is in fantastic condition again. Sat-nav isn't flickering, it's just the way the video shows it up, unfortunately, but all working perfectly there. Just pop the car into reverse, you can see rear parking camera working exactly as intended. The only wear as such, very common on these, the leather around the gear knob there, always. You can buy them off eBay for 20 quid or so, but it is as it is. Very nice indeed. And across to the main dash binnacle, 90,727 miles, and there are no warning lights on the dashboard there. Finally, just to show you, owner's manual pack and lock and wheel nut key, all here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda CR-V 2.2 EX diesel. The car's registered FR61OMU, and mileage at the start of the road test is 90,728. The reason we do all of our videos is very simple. We just want to make sure that if anyone's online, they get to see the car that we're advertising actually in operation. The reason we feel it's important is because, unfortunately, like lots of people, we've been to see cars which have looked perfectly good in photographs and description, but only to get there and find out there's an obvious fault that shows up when you drive it. So hence that's why we do it. Also done on these very quiet country roads in this lovely part of Gloucestershire, and this actually forms part of the road test route we take our customers on. The hope is then, of course, that it'll be representative of what you feel yourself should you be offered a test drive in the car. So coming to the car itself, it's been very well maintained, this car, and it feels it straight away. Engine starts instantly, it settles to a smooth, even idle. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car. Temperature gauge running at a third, which is exactly where it's meant to be on a Honda vehicle. These are brilliant diesel engines, absolutely brilliant. It's very smooth, very quiet, but what makes it different to most modern diesels is the modern fad is to go for very small capacity engines but with big turbos, and they can feel very quick, you know, they are, but it's just short narrow power bands. So quite often you'll oh my god, wrong gear. Yeah, quite often you'll put your foot down, accelerate it, but then it just dies away very quickly. So effectively you've got, you know, usually from 1500 to 2500 RPM, and that's about it. This revs all the way through to 4500 revs if you want it to, but they're all usable revs. They're, you know, it's got a very, very, very broad power band in the car. So when you put your foot down now, 1500 RPM, it picks up and goes, but it just keeps going. But it doesn't get harsh, it doesn't get rattly, it doesn't sound noisy. It's got internal balancer shafts, which really help because it makes it much sweeter than most diesels. It's a lovely unit. Engine then feeds them with the clutch and gearbox. Clutch in the car's fine, bike's exactly where it's meant to. The gearbox, first of all, positioning the gear lever is brilliant, so it's just, your hand just naturally falls to it. The motion of gear change with your arm is perfect, and it's short in throw, it's snappy, it's got a lovely mechanical heft to the gear change. It feels what it is, which is beautifully engineered, and that feels as it would have done when it was new. Literally zero wear in it. So coming to the chassis and the steering of the car, which Honda have always done brilliantly well, which is why the CR-V has been continually one of the best-selling SUVs in the world. It's because they were way ahead of the game. When others were making cars which felt like commercial vans to drive, Honda are giving you a SUV that drove like a perfectly good family saloon or hatch. And it starts with the steering, which is lovely, beautifully weighted rather. Feels very confidence-inspiring on the road. It never feels nervous. You know, it's a stretch to say this is a sporty car because it is not. What it does brilliantly. So the steering is perfectly tuned to the chassis, so it doesn't ruffle or unsettle you in any way in the passengers as a result of it, unless you're sort of particularly heavy-handed with it. It also, by the way, tracks absolutely dead straight. There's no vibrations at this speed or any speed up to the legal limit. Suspension on the car, again, just beautifully resolved. It gives you a very comfortable, compliant ride. But unfortunately, some cars in this class, you know, they can feel comfortable, but when you go through a corner like the one up here, whereas this one literally just turn in, hardly any body motion, settles beautifully into the corner. Others kind of lollop their way through the corners, which can be particularly nauseating for rear seat passengers. But this is brilliantly done. Incidentally, no rattles or clonks from underneath the car, all rock solid. Brake pedal on the car is fantastic. There's no pulsing, no vibrations. It looks like it's had some very, very recently fitted front discs and pads, so hardly surprising to find out they're good. And worth pointing out that the car will be heading off early next week for a new independent MOT. We have no input into it at all, so I'll be checking all these things as a matter of course. So coming to the interior of the car, this is how to build cars basically. It's a 12-year-old car now, and there's not a squeak, not a rattle, not a buzz from the interior. It's beautifully bolted together, and a lovely place to sit. You've got brilliant visibility all around. I love this lighter interior on these CR-Vs and the later ones, because on sort of duller days it just brightens it up, especially with the panoramic roof above me, so you don't feel kind of, you know, as though you're in a bit of a cave. And on those raging hot summer days, it's not like an oven inside when you get into it, whereas black interiors tend to do that. As much as I love black leather interiors, by the way, I just love the fact that it breaks up, the colours are nicely done, and it's easy to keep clean. Basically just keep wet wipes and a dry cloth, so if you spill something, wet wipe it off, then dry cloth it straight after to dry it off. The dash layout, just simplicity itself, beautifully laid out, and joy of joys, it's just so much easier to use than most modern cars, in fact all modern cars. Sat nav, you can see, working absolutely perfectly there. Dual zone climate control system, so you can have different temperatures side to side if you so wish. All working exactly as they should, and pumping out absolutely ice cold air. Heated seats working perfectly. And then you've got your classic Honda display binnacle in front, beautifully detailed, minimalist, but just they do that kind of stuff so well. And then you've got this lovely leather bound steering wheel. It's been kept really nicely in here. This is, by the way, a 4-wheel drive version of the CR-V, because not all CR-Vs are 4-wheel drive, albeit you don't do anything. Honda worked out right from the original concept, the first CR-Vs back in the mid-90s, that the vast majority of people driving the car would be driving as I am today, where you just don't need 4-wheel drive on, so why have it on the whole time? So what it does is very simple. It runs in 2-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, which is the most efficient way to pull a car along. Only if it needs to go into 4-wheel drive will it do so itself, and it does it seamlessly. It's brilliant. Basically, if you, let's say you pulled away onto the mud, snow or ice or something, front wheel started to lose grip. Before you could react, it's reacted because it's done it by the traction control system. And it brings in the rear wheels to give you 4-wheel drive, and it works so well. We've had numerous CR-Vs over the years, and towed caravans and never come close to getting stuck with one. It is superb the way the system operates, and the advantages of it are painting the obvious. You're going to get through your tyres less quickly, you're not going to use as much fuel, and you put far less mechanical stress to the vehicle than sort of conventional permanent 4-wheel drive systems. You know, it's so robust that, you know, in nearly 30 years selling CR-Vs, I can't remember putting a spanner on a 4-wheel drive system in any of them. So it is tough indeed. As I said at the start of the video, the point of it, brief as it might well be, is literally just to show the car operating, and it drives absolutely